Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first ever episode of Don't Attack My Eye, also known as Dame. My name is Raid. This is my great friend Jelly,
Hi.
and also joining us, and not only on this, but probably a lot of future stuff we plan on doing, is my wonderful wife Sosie.
Hi.
And there they said hi, so you know who they are. We're really excited to do this. This is something we've wanted to do for a while now. What is it we're doing exactly? It's a fantastic question. We are going to, in this episode in particular, do an impression episode, or impressions of various characters in Smash that first Smash Bros. 4. All three of us are huge Smash Brothers fans. Maybe in some future time we'll talk about just how much Smash Brothers has affected all of us. It's that cool. But today what we plan on doing is going over, as you can probably see right now, The Villager. And this is our first ever episode, so there's probably going to be a lot of things that are going to change as time goes on. We're just planning on doing a straight recording, and we'll just see how it ends up. But we plan on putting this on our blogs and on different places, and we hope that you guys can eventually start commenting and talking to us and give us ideas for other stuff. But yes, I've said enough, so I say we jump right into it with what is Jelly's most anticipated character for this awesome game that's coming out so soon,
Bar none.
The Villager.
Alright, so, Villager. Just as a character and as a franchise, I've always wanted to see Villager in Smash. I really have. And I think he really deserves it. It's a franchise that as Nintendo has, it's kind of really been a big part of not only Nintendo's sales, but what sets apart Nintendo as a company. It's a very Nintendo game. And seeing Smashville in the stage in Brawl, I think it's a great time to see Villager come in as a new character, and he just brings that vibe. He's like, I am a Nintendo character.
And it is interesting. I mean, as I've been looking, as we were trying to decide which character we would start out with, or if we would do multiple characters, like just looking through the list, just of what they've announced so far. Like, it's interesting how all these Nintendo icons are just these crazy ideas that Nintendo has, and then they're just like, as I'm looking at the little picture of Villager right now, there's just so much charm and so much, I mean, just background to it that, like, any of us who have played Animal Crossing at all can just feel just by looking at that artwork. And Nintendo seems to do that really well, at least for me personally. But I agree. You did say that you wanted him for a long time. It's kind of interesting. I remember I probably wasn't super excited for the thought of Villager. I always thought it would be most hilarious to play as, like, Tom Nook and just hit people with sacks of bells. But, like, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't until I've seen him and what they've done with him that I've just completely fallen in love with the character. I think, and as we look at some of his attacks and whatnot, like, I get the most, it's a really interesting vibe. I mean, something that I think only Game & Watch is comparable to, just this random assortment of things, but yet it still is so cohesive because of just how it fits Animal Crossing so well. And so, and there's no question that I don't think I mean, sure, anyone can argue anything, but, like, Villager is just such a fantastic and just a great addition to the overall feel of the Smash Brothers roster.
Yeah. And, he kind of has that Captain Falcon thing going where, how could this person be a fighter? But then they just give him random moves, and it works so well with the character.
And it just is going to be, stay cemented. And Villager is one of those characters that's just like, I can see him easily coming in all the future installments of Smash Brothers.
Yeah, the franchise is that big to Nintendo that I don't think they would want to take him out, and I think people are going to love him in this game.
Oh, totally.
I thought it was really interesting how he was the first character, he was the first new character that we saw in Smash 4. The letter. He opened the letter, and
my God. I mean, there was no question that direct. It was like the greatest moment of the direct when we saw the Smash Brothers insignia flare across the screen with, like, a sword and fire, and then all of a sudden it's just like doot 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 doot, and then just opening up, and you can see it in the little picture in the video or the thumbnail, just like him opening up the letter, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Animal Crossing's gonna get Smash Brothers."
Yeah.
So, and I think with that being said, I say we jump into how we think he will be from a more competitive standpoint, which I'll just throw this out right now. Both of us have a pretty extended history in Smash Brothers competitions. So, we like to think that we have decent opinions on the matter. And so let's see, as we go through it, let's see what we can pull aside and see how we think Villager's going to end up playing.
All right, so this is a little website we're just using to kind of help our discussion. Just goes through a lot of the things we've seen through Miiverse that Sakurai has shared with us. Masahiro Sakurai, love the guy, never met him.
My hero.
So it just goes through like their moveset. They got the trailer. Maybe
I think we should just throw this out here just so everyone knows. It's SmashBrothersMiiverse.com, and I found this a while ago, but they just do a really good collection of all of the daily images postings. I think they also do any of like the press pack pictures they've done, and they have easily accessible all the Sakurai quotes with each one. So, and I know as we've looked through some of this, we're not sure if it's 100% accurate. Maybe they just haven't updated or something. I don't know, but for the most part, it's pretty good. So yeah, we'll plan on using this.
All right, we just jump right into the moveset, I guess.
Oh, and straight into the special moves, dude.
Okay, special moves. Neutral special.
Oh my gosh. I
was gonna main this character regardless of this move, but this move is just my kind of move. It really is.
And I think it just is, like, if you could have one move that just perfectly fits together how well they transitioned Villager into Smash Brothers, and just, not just the transition, but, like, how well it fits in Smash Brothers, and just how well it represents Animal Crossing as a whole. That neutral B special is just so fun. That might have been what sold me on the character in the first place. And Sakurai's just how, like, he's applied it to everything. I mean, we've seen him grab the spring. I'm wondering, can he grab Rush from Mega Man? We've seen him grab the Phantom from Zelda, and just, and it's just such a hilarious idea. Even in that little picture, just pocketing the missile flying past, and then just kind of, in that standing position, waving his arms daintily.
And that is pretty crazy, but when you think about what he actually carries in the games, he's holding, like, computer servers, like fish tanks, sharks in their pocket, like...
Beetles.
Like, this isn't... Holding a Phantom versus a whale shark in your pocket isn't that big of a difference in crazy.
Yeah, and that's so Animal Crossing. It's just like, hey, look, there's this random crap that I found on the ground. I'm going to go hang it in my room. It's going to be cool.
Right.
And so, just like, he can pocket anything, and then when he wants to, just pull it back out. It's just so Villager.
And in that sense, I think it gives him a real whimsical kind of spirit. Like, just he shows up to Smash Brothers, just waltzes in, just starts collecting things, and just kind of hanging out with these fighters and everything like that. If I look at it from a competitive standpoint, I think considering how much utility we've seen it have so far, for example, Samus is a great example. Samus's projectile game is going to struggle against Villager. It's kind of Game & Watch buckety, in that perhaps you could give him like a weak missile and then start firing the barrages, but just straight idea. Obviously someone like Marth, he doesn't really have to worry about that, unless, of course, well, I was going to say stage hazards he might be able to grab, but at the same time, it's safe to assume that most of the stages that are tourney legal won't have too many stage hazards or anything like that.
I was actually just thinking it might be a big deal in teams with Team Attack on.
Good point.
And if you have Samus or Zelda on a team with Villager, Villager can pocket a full charge blast and use it later.
Right. Well, I was thinking on that lines, I don't remember one, but Ness. Imagine Ness. You've got two options with Ness. You have his PK Flash, which is somewhat difficult to hit, but it's very strong. I was wondering, can Villager pocket the explosion? And then does that mean he can not have to worry about placing it nearly, or
will it come out exactly the same way?
Right.
Yeah.
And then, or he can use it for healing.
Yeah. I would assume it would be like, if it's a physical thing you can touch. So like the energy moves, I would guess that you couldn't do it.
Well, we've seen him grab
That is true.
Samus's
Oh, wow.
charge shot.
That's crazy.
Which otherwise I would agree.
So can you pocket Pikmin? That's the question. Can you just pocket Pikmin?
Well, that's actually a really interesting point, because if you could, would that mean... Well, would that... Like, would then Almar only be able to have 2 Pikmin with him?
That's crazy.
Like, and like, yeah, I mean, just... It's going to be very interesting. I mean, really, what's going to define... Like, it's going to be a nice move, no matter what. And I can't wait to see how Kirby looks when he sucks up Villager and starts pocketing things, too. But... Well, I think what will really define this move is its limits. And so far, it's looking pretty limitless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, you can't grab, like, Mario's forward smash. But, like, you know, almost anything that is considered projectile and not out-of-body hitbox, I mean, it looks like it's grabbable. And that's going to affect matchups a lot. I mean, we've already seen, like, people like Lucario who have now... what appear to be a lot more effective projectile, and it's just like now all of a sudden you've got to worry about that Villager being able to grab that, and it looks fairly lagless. It looks fairly quick.
Very fast. Yeah.
I don't know how precise it is, but I don't. It doesn't.
Well,
I don't imagine
only
it's too
like
precise.
if there's only a few frames where you can pick something up or you get hit by it, that makes the skill curve a lot higher. But I mean, for people who play it a ton, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Kind of like Ness or Lucas's recovery. They get the hang of it.
Is it going to be like a counter where he's just like for I don't know, half a second, he's just ready and he'll just grab anything that touches him? I don't know. That's another way you can think about it. Because some projectiles are going to be faster than others, so times will be different.
I'm thinking it will either have to be like a counter sort of a stance, or some sort of like, you know, you're literally like grabbing the item.
So it's
like
that
kind of precision.
So it's like a character is in front of you grabbing, but it's like you're grabbing the item.
A turnip or something.
Right. Which, admittedly, if it's actually kind of difficult to do, that could actually be the biggest nerf, or the biggest like downside, I should say. We can't really talk about nerfs now, except for on Link. But the biggest downside would be if, like, let's say you did try to catch the big projectile, but you whiffed it. I mean, that is... well, although, I don't know, maybe by that level of play. Yeah, we'll see. But you mentioned recovery, and so why don't we jump to the up B?
Jump? Okay, awesome.
You must recover.
So, up B, Balloon Trip, obviously referring back to, in the GameCube version of Animal Crossing, you can play a whole bunch of the retro games, and it fits with me.
I'm a 90s kid, so a lot of those NES games I never got to play, and so it was actually Animal Crossing that introduced me to quite a few of them.
Yep. So what it looks like is, it's going to be kind of like a snake pit kind of recovery from what we've seen in Brawl.
That's a good way of putting it.
So he's like, looks like he can go faster than Snake could in his up B.
Well,
but he's poppable.
Exactly. So he has 2 balloons, and we've learned that you have to pop both of them in order for him to fall. So if one hit will only hit one of them, I think he will just continue.
Right. Well, and I don't remember which.
Maybe he rises slower if he only has 1 balloon.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like the
I don't know if we've seen anything. I'm pretty sure in every video we've seen, he's gotten both. The only one where we've only seen it pop like maybe twice, I think, and one for sure is the Rosalina video.
Yeah.
But I think it was in the Big Smash Direct.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's fairly mobile, and like it's easy to control.
Yeah.
Like
fast.
It seems fairly quick. It seems like you can turn around quickly. I'm wondering for the 2 hits thing, because
oh wait, you're right. It wasn't the 2 hits thing. So what it was is Villager himself got hit. That's what it was. So no one popped his balloons. So he used his up and someone just hit him normally, and obviously he can get that back. But if they don't hit, if they have to hit the actual balloons, not just Villager. That's what it was.
So wait, if they hit Villager, does he fall? Is he in free fall, or is he just regular?
He falls, but then he can just up B again.
Oh.
So as long as they hit. That? It was in the Big Smash Direct. Bowser hit him or something.
Well, it makes sense if you've ever played Balloon Fight, where you actually have to pop the balloons. You can't run into the duck.
Right. Well, and it's interesting. And on that note, I'm thinking now. I'm like, one of the ideas we have for these videos is to do a lot more in depth, and hopefully with more video editing and whatnot, we can have clips going to demonstrate everything. And if we could find that clip, I think that'd be really interesting to look at. because I'm wondering, like, for like the hit the balloons, and I actually think if that's the case, I think that's a cool mechanic because you mentioned Snake's Recovery, and Snake's Recovery just worked all the time because we found that glitch, or the glitch was found where if you just grabbed him out of it and didn't do anything, he'd just fall and die.
Yeah.
But then not only did he have the mind, but then Snake players just started deciding, hey, I'll just go way up high where I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Snake was completely able to attack out of all of them, and even if you hit him with a really strong attack to knock him out, he could just do it again. I feel like was probably a little too good.
Yeah.
But then again,
seems worse.
One of the people we play against a lot is a Snake main, and I hate fighting against snakes. But anyways,
chump change.
Whoa, all out chump change. But yeah, like with the balloons, I'm wondering if because we see Rosalina's Luma or the Luma star bits. And it looks like it breaks both because it's kind of a multi-hit attack. Like, that's why. I'm wondering if, Marth with, a big forward air would be able to pop both instantly? Or is it literally, one attack per attack, or so to speak? I mean, that means, Mega Man, Fox, people with lots of people with lots of quick attacks, especially in the air.
Multi-hits, yeah.
Multi-hit attacks would have an advantage. Or is it just, attacks that reach both balloons?
Exactly. If a Mars forward smash only got one versus it getting two.
Right. But the fact that you have to be smart about it is what I appreciate.
Yeah.
Because obviously the more mobility you give someone, the better chances they have in general. But I appreciate that it looks like you still have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
And if you're not, and if you do whiff it, then it's heavily punishable. But agreed. I think it's interesting that they decided to pull. Again, it was one of those things. I'm like, that's an interesting thing to do. I was very surprised they decided to give the balloon fight, and unfortunately silence a lot of people who wanted the balloon fighter as a playable character. And it just an interesting. I thought it was an interesting decision. I mean, obviously with Villager, you've got a very interesting pool of ideas in the first place, and actually the next special move we have here is a very interesting decision in my opinion.
So this is just the attack that, once again, perfect for Villager. He's just like, I'm going to ride this thing and love life. I'm just going to be cheering while I'm flying across on this thing. And so,
he's like the happiest character. Even Kirby gets rivaled in just pure happiness.
He's just like, I'm loving life, which is what Animal Crossing is all about. There's no point to the game. You're just having fun.
Yeah.
That's what's really cool about Villager.
That's very true.
And so this looks like, so you can either shoot it off, and it will just keep going for a while, or you can ride it. And so the biggest thing the thing I've been thinking about most about this is, will he be able to up B after he does a side B?
Well, and if Brawl taught us anything, people with multiple forms of recovery are in a very advantageous position. I mean, even if he can only side B, we in the direct, if I remember correctly, he pretty much went across the entire stage.
Yeah,
or the entire Smash
cruising.
I mean, if you look at that from an outside perspective, that's a lot of distance, and Luigi players know that very well. They will use the Luigi rocket to get them close to the stage because his horizontal recovery is lacking somewhat. And then
except for the down B.
And then they'll use the down B because with the jump out of it, you'll get a lot of vertical recovery, and it gives Luigi. I mean, it's very precise, but it gives him a lot of options. Wario has the bike, which he would use all the time. I mean, you never see a Wario player not using the bike to recover.
Yep, and you have Meta Knight, who's every single one of his B moves is a recovery move. So there you go. The thing that I think really is going to make this, I think, a good move, competitively anyways, is you have Ike and the Luigi, the side Bs that just kind of shoot. Well, you have to charge those to make them go far. This he pulls out instantly and rides it perfectly straight. Yeah. He doesn't fall at all.
Well,
he just goes.
Yeah, and on that note, we actually have seen very little about what is the difference between just shooting it off and actually riding it.
So you think you just hold side B versus let go?
It's just kind of like how Samus's missiles can differ.
Yeah, depending on
it's like a quick tap just shoots it while holding the B button or the over button down.
Yeah,
over's not a button. Will make him ride it. And I mean, I wonder, just thinking now out loud, I mean, what if when he collides, is that going to be like when Diddy's rocket barrel goes off, where Diddy's kind of gets shot in the air for a second and then lands? How fast will you be able to move out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of. It's a very. I mean, as awesome as it is. I mean, Lloyd is the famous. Well, here I'm not gonna lie. I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure he's the gyroid from the very beginning, who would save your game, and it was always outside your house and whatnot.
I believe so. Yeah.
And it's just, and I mean, very enigmatic move. I feel like it's potential. You know what? On that note, again, a lot of Villager is, well, and actually a lot of newcomer stuff. Not gonna lie, but it just. I think Villager, just in particular, it's just going to be very interesting to see the limits of all of these moves
because we don't really know that yet.
I mean, of course, everyone once we see the tournament and once we go to Best Buy. I mean, I know our faithful Smashboards and other players will be ever dedicated to try and get as much frame data and video data as we can, so we can start data mining this thing. But
what competitive smashers do.
Hey, we like what we do. But
random question.
Okay, shoot.
Can Villager suck up a Lloyd rocket that is shot by another Villager with a normal V? They just keep shooting them back and forth.
See, this is just going to be.
And then
can he ride it?
Since he has it in his pocket, can the Villager lose? Does he lose the side B? I don't know.
Can he ride his own, jump off, then throw the Lloyd rocket he's grabbed? Oh my gosh! I think
there's just limits. That's what we need to know about all these characters. Like, because Villager, all these moves are just like, wow, like this has a lot of potential, but we don't know exactly what can be done with it.
And again, I feel like Villager especially, like some of Mega Man's aerials that we've seen, and you know his neutral B. I mean, things like that seem. It's like, oh, I can very much imagine how that's going to work.
Yeah.
But a lot of these, it's just like, holy cow! I mean, heck, Villager is kind of like an anti-projectile character because not only can he pocket any projectile, he might be able to just spam Lloyd rockets on top of that,
stop it,
and then throw yours back at it. Just kind of like a weird mix of DD and Snake.
Because like what a lot of Samus players would do is they'd spam the double missiles into a charge shot.
Right.
So like, could you just like fire off a Lloyd rocket and then a charge shot or something?
Right.
This is like a follow up, so where they shield the first one and then the next one just hits them hard and hits them good. So I don't know.
Okay, and then finally, actually, I said the pocket and and all these specials look awesome, but dang it, this next special, I mean, this was the first one. As soon as I saw it, I started coming up with ideas of how to use it.
So Timber, yeah. So it looks like there are 3 parts to this move. So first things first, he plants a seed in the ground, which that's what you do in Animal Crossing. Then you water it next, and do you have to water it more than once?
I don't know, because it looks, and if you've seen the picture, it looks like one step is putting it in the ground, then watering makes the sprout come up. Or no, planting it probably makes the sprout come up.
Yeah, the sprout water it,
and makes it turn into a tree.
And so then it's a tree, and it looks like if people attack it, the tree will die. We don't know how strong of attacks it's going to take.
Yeah, we see in I believe it's the Rosalina trailer, we see Luma taking out the tree with a few moves.
So we assume it's like a wall that you can't walk past, you might be able to roll past, but you might have to attack it. So that could even be a wall against projectiles, like you were saying too.
Oh, yeah.
But the main part of the move is, so you set up this big, huge tree, it's just chilling on the stage, and if someone's below it, or maybe even right in front of it, Villager needs 2 hacks to it, and it will cut down the tree, and the tree will just fall on you and own you from what we've seen.
Yeah.
A lot of damage, looks like a lot of knockback.
And Sakurai loves his big hits.
Yeah.
So this looks like something he's not going to spare the knockback or the damage on. And when I first saw it, my first thought was, I'm going to put that thing right on the edge, and after I've knocked them off the edge, and while they're trying to recover, I'm going to put that there so it can either A, limit their options from the getting up back to the stage, or B, if I can time it right, I bet, and especially after what we've seen in the last Smash Direct where he sends the tree tumbling down, is if they do it poorly, I can probably send that tree right down on top of them as they're going for the ledge. And so, I mean, wow. And this move is just so crazy. And, like, just the ability to put up your own quick wall. I mean, I think it's going to be one of those things that, like, as soon as a character's dead, and especially in 1v1, Villager will probably go straight to putting up his tree.
Yep, either off the stage where they can't get back for a little while, or where they're dead and you have a chance, just a couple seconds to set something up.
Although, admittedly, I think we see the full process in the direct, and it didn't look that long.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like charging up a DK punch long. DK's giant punch.
Yeah, so the 3 separate parts, plant it, water it, and then the chopping might take a little bit more time.
Oh, that's a good
But
point.
that's the thing. What we normally see is chop it once, and then while Sakurai explains it in the video, villagers just standing there.
Right.
So maybe just chop, and it'll drop.
Right.
And that would be really
And now
good
that you
move.
mentioned that, of course, again, can he pocket a falling tree?
So he has 2 trees. So there's someone
my
trying to
God.
recover. He's got a tree in his pocket from some other random, or a villager versus villager ditto match. He pockets the other guy's tree, drops 2 trees on the other
you
villager.
like jump in the air and drop it in the air.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And once again, with this move, it's all about the limits, like we were saying, because, I mean, if you could set up everything, you could water it, you plant it, water it, get 1 chop, save the last chop, and, like, on a stage like Smashville, where you've got that moving platform, anytime you're on that platform, you've got the other person either scared
That'll be
or
interesting
something.
if you can literally put it on top of the
An
platform.
edge of a platform, yeah.
Or on that floating platform, so as it's like floating left and right.
Uh-huh.
It's like just a quick jump up in that last chop, and then
Yeah.
you just have it bounce around for a second.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
And it does bounce. We learned at least bounces once or twice.
well,
is that right?
the only reason I would think against that is because in it, he uses it on Palutena's temple,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a clear, like, it's right on the edge, and there's stuff really far below it,
Uh-huh.
and, like, there's space for it to fall down. I'm wondering if you just do it on, like, if it just falls a normal distance,
Uh-huh.
if it just kind of land.
Oh, so it'll just like fall. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if it's, I obviously won't bounce if it's just like on the ground and it falls. I don't think it'll bounce. You're right.
Right.
But if it's like if
but
it's from
if
a
it's on a
ledge
floating
higher
platform-
up, it might like fall and bounce, kind of like a Rob's gyro kind of
Yep.
thing.
Which is, again, which mentioned earlier by Sosi, that is a move I think can see potential in teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Big time.
it might end up just being hilariously awesome chaos, but I mean, as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, I'm really excited to see pro villagers play.
Like
I mean,
me.
I think, oh, well, of course, I think the variety they have available to them. It doesn't look like you. I mean, well, actually, on that note, we'll have to see how his standard attacks are. But it looks like his special attacks all will have a variety of uses.
Uh-huh. Big time.
And like in like the pocket can be very matchup dependent. The balloon trip as well. Lloyd Rocket looks like it can be useful in almost any stage. The same with the tree. I can see having a variety of uses on different stages. And just like Villager's going to be a tricky one.
He is. I think he's going to be a lot like Snake. Like, his up B is very similar to Snake, and he's got those weird setups.
Yeah.
Where, like, if you read someone perfectly, you know what they're going to do, you can drop a tree right on them.
We've seen, both in Brawl and Project M, how some really cool Snake stuff can be done.
Yeah. And, like, also moving into just the normal moves, especially the down smash, I think we can see that,
the
once
down
again,
smash and the bowling ball, dude.
I mean, this character is built off of traps almost.
Interesting way of putting it.
If you can tell what the other person's going to do, or if you can get them to forget something that you have, and that's why Villager is really cool, is he's got all these different attacks that are kind of weird and very different from each other. It's not like Marth, where he's just like swinging a sword on everything.
Right.
He's got so many. It looks like he'll have a lot of options.
Special moves, though. I'm interested to see what his A moves will be like.
So we've seen a lot of them already.
When he's not setting up, he's going to have to rely on other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like, how will he be able... I mean, if you're against a very aggressive Marth player that is able to shut him down, how will his neutral... Or how will his standard aerial attacks be able to hold up?
Yeah.
Which, on that note...
Exactly.
And again, I think it was in Villager, we were doing a quick glance of it, but I think some of these might not be 100% accurate. These all look okay.
Yeah, these look pretty right.
The boxing gloves is a hilarious idea.
Oh, it's so great.
I remember there was rumors that might have disconfirmed Little Mac.
And then he was confirmed.
And then, of course, Little Mac and all of his glory was confirmed.
So it looks like he'll have jabs. Do we know how fast those are?
I don't know if we've seen it. I think in one of them we do. We'll have to relook into that.
It's neutral. I can't really tell.
It's a boxing gloves.
He
has a boxing glove combo. Yep. And like looking at that Bowser picture, it looks like it has a decent amount of range.
Yep.
I don't know if it'll be like a Fox where it does that multi-hit and then now a new finisher.
Yeah, because all of those combos looks like
it looks like it'll be a standard kind of Mario combo or heck Little Mac.
Boom, boom, boom.
Actually, no, Little Mac does have quick jabs.
This is the first character, except maybe Game & Watch, where their A moves are so varied. Or like
yes, I agree.
Most A moves are a variation of a punch or a kick.
Yep.
Sort of deal, and all these involve items.
Right, I think Peach might have been the first. Well, Peach and Game & Watch were the only ones to really go crazy with it, with the golf clubs, and then everything Game & Watch does.
The dress.
The dress.
That steel dress,
which Melee made infamous.
Mm-hmm.
But the dash attack. I'm wondering if the whole plant itself is a hitbox, or is it just when he drops it? Knowing dash attacks, it's probably just, a long hitbox.
I imagine it's kind of like a DDD's dash attack.
Yeah.
Where it's like a trip with the thing on it.
And does DDD's, I forget, does DDD's hit it even during the startup?
No. Because
I know
it takes a little bit of time to get it. And it's a very strong move, but I don't know.
Well, and actually, DDD's is a fantastic comparison, I think, because from what I remember, I feel like there's a bit of lag from what I can see.
There definitely is.
Some ending frames on that.
If you get a good read, it's amazing, but it's hard to get
off. We'll see what damage is and everything mix up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, what if that blocked a shot? I mean, might be way too far out
It's an item,
but it's just like he's holding something in front of his face. I mean, that would actually mean kind of like Little Mac style
like a
of
Joel
approaching.
Haymaker,
just his ability to just kind of charge in, which it actually might be, maybe apart from the Lloyd Rocket, might be what he struggles with most.
Yeah.
Then his tilt, which
do we know this is an up tilt?
Yes. That was in the thing.
Okay.
It shows him waving the stick, pulling the weeds.
So he said up tilt, down tilt, side tilt.
And I mean, we've seen these in directs, but it's also like, just looking at the pictures, it's like, holy cow, I don't know how these are going to work.
Yeah, like up tilt is like, woo!
Like, because when he does the down tilt, it's the exact animation from the game where you see the little leaves popping up, and it looks very vertical. Mm. So I'm wondering what kind of hitbox that move is going to have.
Yeah.
It might work, maybe it's like a launcher.
Right in front of him.
What if it works like a kind of a launcher?
Pulls him up, combo potential,
oh my
out
gosh.
the wall, right there.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a Roy kind of a thing, just pops him in the air, and since this game looks like it has a lot more, I don't know, like a lot more, but it has more hits done than
it definitely
Smash
appears to be that way.
Because we've seen combos, and we know that
there
are a lot of
combos.
moves, like Pikachu's down B,
right.
There has combo potential. So this down tilt could lift people up into the air, and then you could just juggle them with all.
So that feels very kind of like, maybe reading the roll kind of a thing, or the width of the attack as a startup, which actually feels very sort of an other kind of fighting game style. Like when I remember I played BlazBlue a while back, and like anytime I played Ragnas, I always knew I had to dodge this particular move because it got all of his combos started.
Yep.
We might be overreaching here, but I'm just looking and I'm just trying to figure out how that will work in general. And the up tilt seems a bit more, but it's like one of those things like he just waves a stick in front of his over his head, and it's like. So I kind of think of like maybe if DDD did that or something. I can't really think of any character that does anything like that.
Maybe like an Ice Climber's spin thing.
Okay,
on the top.
that would work. And it's just like just a good block, and just like maybe like Link's down air could get through it. But like if I'm Mario trying to down air, like I'm just gonna get hit away. Mm-hmm. I mean, I doubt it'll do that much. I mean, there's definitely some up tilts, especially in like Brawl, that just destroy.
Yeah.
But I can't. It seems weak, but it seems like useful at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And sometimes weak attacks lead into stronger attacks.
Right.
So.
And then the side tilt, which is
Umbrella.
Yeah, it appears to be out of body, which is always a plus.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of thwacks you with an umbrella, and I mean that seems fairly self-explanatory. Looking at the size of the umbrella, it looks like it's got some distant reach. I mean, looking at Bowser's forward tilt right above it. Bowser's looks like it would have a little bit more range, but it looks like it'll be useful.
Mm-hmm. All right, and we're getting down to smash attacks. Move on to smash attacks. up smash. That's fireworks, right?
And, okay, these ones are the ones where we're starting to think, okay, maybe we're not 100% sure on these.
I feel like that would come out a little slow.
Which one?
The fireworks, because he has a set of...
Right, I think fireworks is probably the up smash, and that's going to be an interesting... It looks like it'll be like
a Lucas, maybe.
Yeah, either a Lucas, maybe a little bit of Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think Lucas is probably the better comparison.
Because, I don't know, will it be able to shoot up like that, or just set a big...
Well, and then if we're going to compare it to Lucas, the real question then is, and it's pretty much the question that this move has to answer is, how big is the hitbox, and
how long does it take to pull it out?
And how strong is it? Because, I mean, obviously, Lucas's up smash was
one of the best in the game.
Quickly in the game, just because of its... how long it was out, how strong it was, and how big it was. And like Lucas would just run it over to you and just up smash and hope you just tried to regular dodge.
Yeah, so when we get into these smash attacks, it really comes down to kill power. Because we see Villager has a lot of these moves that set things up or, just kind of like stop someone else's game. But like if you're probably not going to be getting too many kills with the neutral special, you can mind game into things. The down special has potential for that.
Oh, good point.
But we see this. We don't know about up smash. Down smash, we'll discuss that in a second. It won't kill, probably. Like, just looking at it, I don't think it'll kill at all.
That's a good point. And, like, if you look at side smash, like, as hilarious as it is, I love the idea. I mean, it's hard, again, it's one of those things I'm like, how is that going to end up working in regular? Like, what if he just side smash, in the middle of the stage? Because every time we've seen him do it, it's been either off a ledge, or pretty much off a ledge, and it just goes straight down. But it's like, those kill moves, how reliable are they?
Cause, the stage, too. Yeah.
Right, because, of course, Ganondorf in Brawl has tons of kill moves, but, like, if you can't get to any of them reliably, that could be a problem for Villager. I mean, the only upside would be, is if he's fighting a Samus. Well, then again, if you're Samus, if Samus's now game doesn't have to revolve so much around, her charge shot, although, Samus just kind of struggled in Brawl. But like her melee, her projectile game, if she can rely on everything else and not rely on her projectile, she might be able to take away Villager extra KO options.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the down smash, it appears to just plant them in the ground.
Which is really cool, and it looks very fast. Like, it's just like, boom.
Both sides.
It's not like a DK side B where you're like, I'm charging up, I'm going to hit you into the ground.
Right.
It's like a boom.
Which, on that note, I'm going to assume that it probably works like DKs in that the more damage you have, the longer you'll stay in the ground. Because if it's a set amount, that could either be really good or really bad in the fact that if it's long enough to kill, it could be great. If it's not long enough to kill, it'll just kind of be like a little minor nuisance or just kind of extra mind gamey things.
But here's the thing: all smash attacks that we've seen are chargeable. Even Snake's down smash was chargeable.
Fair point.
So is that going to be like, if we charge it more, I can keep you in there longer?
Right.
So if you have like a fully charged down smash, could you set up a tree right in front of him?
Well, yeah,
and drop it on top of him,
or go straight to bowling ball.
Go straight to
bowling ball. We've seen and again in a lot of the videos we've seen. I mean, Sakurai has made it a clear point where he's like, "Hey, I'm still fine tuning a lot of stuff, and I think knockback and damage is one of those things." But the bowling ball has always seemed to carry a punch in the few times we've seen it.
Yeah.
And so will up smash have to carry that flak? Carry the weight of getting all of his kills? As we're about to get to his aerials, which may be where his other kills can come from. But the tilts and the standard stuff didn't seem to scream much kill potential there. So that's going to be interesting. So he might be a character that relies. I think the trap analogy might actually be a lot more accurate than I thought. But we'll see.
Yeah, probably going to be getting those kills might be a little tricky. So
I think this is where we were hung up. But in the up aerial and the down aerial, it shows them the turnips. We know the turnip's one of them, and especially what looks like to be down aerial. But in the up aerial picture, it doesn't look like he's holding them up. Can you highlight it? See if there's like a Sakurai image where he mentioned it was his aerials.
No, it doesn't look like in this one. Okay. This one says Villager down aerial. Image from Facebook Smash Bros. Page.
Okay, so. And I know we did have a Miiverse pick about, because that's where he told us that it will have varying levels of power, like the turnips had varying prices throughout the day. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming it'll be every time you use the move, it'll have a different amount of power. I mean,
exactly.
It would be a little... I don't think people would like it if it was like, literally every day it picked a new power level.
So if you went to a tournament on a crappy day,
so like villagers
horrible.
Start flinging out their aerials, hoping that they're getting the max power. It'll probably be kind of like, well, a great example is Peach's
on Battlefield, it changes from night to day. Bam.
That would actually be really kind of cool because it's like
hilarious.
Villagers purposely stalling just to get the day cycle thing to go faster.
Or if every stage had like a day and night cycle,
which I hope they do.
We've seen a lot of stages that do. I mean, I don't know.
The Battlefield at night looked fantastic.
Yeah, it did. Pilot Wings could totally do that.
Dude,
this
game looks fantastic. Let's just get that out right there. We could do a whole video on how fantastic this game is.
Just how beautiful it looks.
Oh my god.
And how every character
is so expressive. So good.
Looks good.
Okay, but so the aerials, I could see them having kill potential.
Yes, and that's one of those things it comes down to. If he can't kill on the ground, maybe he can kill in the air. One thing that Sonic really struggled with in Brawl is he had, like, his aerials, they weren't super bad, but they were kind of hard to hit with. And he had problem killing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those moves were really good, so you'd use them, and then with move decay, where the more you use a move, you lose power. Sonic had problems killing sometimes.
Right.
So
and Villager, I'm more interested in how well he'll be able to rack up the damage, and then if he'll be able to kill reliably. Because even if he can kill reliably, if he can't rack up the damage well enough, who knows?
Exactly.
But even still, these aerials do look like I could see them packing a punch. I mean, that down aerial especially with what looks to be the angles, it looks like that could be straight down.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe with this random thing, it could be this one will spike, this one will send up, which would be just crazy.
It would be crazy. I know that would frustrate some people.
Game & Watch 9
at the same time, it would be way cool.
It's just like, yeah, I'm just going to go for this anyways. It might kill you, it might not, but this is going to be a sexy combo.
Right.
So I'm going to go for this 9 every time, like a lot of Game & Watches do.
Everyone gets super hype when it does come out.
Because I was a Game & Watch main for quite a while in Brawl, and like, what a lot of people complained about Game & Watch videos is they say, everyone just goes for the 9, and all the Game & Watch videos, like, half of the combos just end with a 9, and you're like, that's luck, but it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not, so.
Right. So, yeah, that'll be very interesting. I don't know, I can see Sakurai making it kind of not a huge deal, but I think because he's pointed it out, it's probably going to have I could see it have a very wide spectrum. And a great example is Peach's Turnips, which is very appropriate, in that, I mean, Peach's Turnip game is you are always on your toes, and when that Stitch face comes out, the Death Turnip, I mean,
gone.
Even if you barely notice it at the last minute, like you were getting hit and it was just annoying, but anyways.
Yeah, and then the back aerial,
I don't know what to say.
We don't know if, like, is it a projectile? Like, how far does that shoot?
I'm pretty sure we've seen it shoot out the little ball. And I'm not gonna lie, it looked like it traveled a fair distance. And like,
like a Marth swing distance and then pop or something?
Yeah, see, because obviously, I mean, if that, again, another limits issue, if that thing travels a decent distance, that's really good move.
Or you know what? Maybe it's like, if it shoots out just a little bit and pops, maybe it has a tipper to it, like Marth's sword.
Yeah.
So, like, because that's the thing about Marth, like in Brawl, or not Brawl, Melee, like, he either got really good kills in Gimps really early, or he had struggles killing, and he needed a tipper. Because basically Marth would be able to combo into these tippers very well.
Right.
And that's how he'd get these early kills. But then at higher percentages, you can't combo into those kill moves. And so you have to, and sometimes a forward smash wouldn't kill him. You need tippers or really good reads to kill with it. So it's like, with this as well, where was I going with this?
With the potential of
how it was killed, or, maybe that would be a thing with Villager too. It's going to be hard to get off a lot of his smash attacks, so you want to get early kills or combo into these early kills, or get really good reads to get the kills.
Right. I'm going to say real fast, I'm looking at the length of our video, and we're currently sitting at a happy 43 minutes. So,
I'm proud of you.
So, yeah, we were wondering how long it would take to cover one character and things like this. Perhaps we're going maybe into a little bit too much depth. I don't know. Maybe it's fun to listen to this for 43 minutes. And if that's the case, I'll say this right now. If you think this is too long, please let us know. If you think it's the perfect length, let us know. We're still deciding a lot of things. But I say we just wrap this up quickly with these last two moves. Forward throw, I mean, it's not actually just throw. It's just a grab. It's hilarious. I wonder, we've seen him use it in the Luma trailer where he tries to catch the Luma.
Yeah.
It looks like it'll work. It doesn't look like it'll work too differently from other grabs.
Yeah, we've never seen him throw.
It just looks more stylistic.
Yeah. Just
aesthetic, I should say.
Mm-hmm. And so an interesting thing is we've never seen him actually throw. We've
just
seen
kind
him
of
grab
chokes people with the net.
Yeah, we've seen him like shaking people in there while he's and then he gets home run batted in the back of the head while he's doing so in one of the videos. We're like, come on, throw him, and then he just gets home run batted in the head. So we don't know how good that his throws are going to be. Maybe that's where kill power comes in. You know, a lot of characters have kill throws. So.
And to help to back that up. Yeah. And then finally, the final smash. I did not see this coming, but it's very appropriate. And nothing is cooler than seeing the exchange of money between the villager and Tom Nook, and then just to see villager just for some reason just be ecstatic while this house is being built and they're just suffering inside. There's probably cockroaches or something inside, or they just realized how much they owe or something. I don't know, and maybe villager paid it off, but. It looks like he catches Mario in the trailer. Again, this would be a time where it'd be nice to have a video. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, so it's like he catches Mario in front of him, puts him in there, rejoices while his house is being built. He says, "Yay! I finally paid off my house." And then
I love the name Dreamhouse.
Dreamhouse. It's so good.
True. And then just all the Nooks in all their glory, because there's few. I mean, Rossetti, KK, they're fantastic, but I still think Nook is like the most iconic non-playable. Animal Crossing character
nowadays, at least with Japan. Isabelle is just like
that's true.
The next level.
That's true.
And like when we didn't really see Tom Nook in New Leaf really at all, we saw the kids. But well, either way, back to Smash. Mm-hmm.
It's true. And by the way,
Isabelle non-player.
Jelly non-playable. Isabelle, she guides your character. She just builds all these like public works.
There you go.
But we have Jelly, who has much experience with Le Japan and Le Japanese culture. Wow, I said that weird. And so we'll get some fun insights on that. But with Final Smashes, well, we might. I'm thinking, especially as more get revealed, we could probably do one where we just talk about Final Smashes.
And talk about how they're not going to be used competitively. I was going to say
again. Whether or not they get used competitively there's probably a lot of people who really want them to be, and a lot of people who don't. And so we'll throw it out there anyways. It's just because we like to talk about this stuff. I mean, clearly with the video length, we clearly are way too passionate about this.
Oh my gosh! No, what did I do?
We should have just talked about this.
Yes.
And the potential here.
So this just talks. I mean, this really gets into what Smash is going to be like.
Yeah.
In this game.
And I feel like we should just kind of throw this out. I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on this. Mm-hmm. Are we looking at other costumes? Are we looking at
like Wario?
Are we looking at different colors, or are we looking at like a male colors and female colors, like a Wii Fit Trainer kind of a thing, or are they all different costumes with all different colors? I mean, just the very vagueness of how Sakurai has shown us this information.
He says you can play a girl villager too.
Yeah, it's just leaves so much, and it's just like, wow, this. And I was actually thinking that might not happen. I know a lot of people want a girl villager. I mean, she would. I mean, it's so appropriate.
I mean, they've had 2 gender options from the very beginning.
Yes.
Yep.
Not like Harvest Moon.
Exactly, and of course, in the wonderful world we live in, it just wouldn't be right to have the number 1 shirt villager repping the whole franchise.
And here's my real question. I know Jesse does not want the Mii character in this game. I kind of do, but I would be happy with, a mid-ground of the villager being able to have a costume where just the face is the Mii character.
Just like hilarious.
Just like in
that would actually be, I think it would be hilarious. Because
I would just play as Reggie. I would just play as Reggie every time.
Oh my goodness.
Reggie versus Iwata matches. Like
Reggie versus Jeff. Reggie
versus Jeff. Play the game.
Jeff!
What's the name of Miyamoto's translator guy?
Oh, Bill Trinan.
I love his Mii with the little concerned eyebrows.
Dude, we could have the Heroes of Nintendo tournament.
There you go.
But anyways,
so yeah, how will this work? We see a red male, a red female, and we'll be back like in 64 where there's colors that you can only be if your team's like green DK. But anyways,
I'd say I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, especially how recent this is. Who knows? In 3 hours or something, we might get the new pick of the day. He's like, oh, by the way, here's the rest of the information on that. Mm-hmm. But maybe we'll just scroll through the rest of these pictures.
We can take 10 minutes on each of these, but we won't.
I mean, this is just a fantastic way to look at just
bees.
Oh my gosh!
So there we see he's cutting the tree down on Yoshi.
Where do the bees come from? Is it a move?
No, oh, it's an item.
It's an item. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the bees are an item. Maybe.
But I say we wrap this up while we just scroll through some pictures.
Yeah.
We're super glad to do this with you guys. Again, we can't stress this enough. Feedback is more than welcome. We want to know what you guys think. We want to know if there's anything you guys would like to see. For example, perhaps there's a character you'd like us to dissect. Perhaps there's a stage, an item, a mechanic. What?
I just found that out. They can be popped one at a time. That was the picture.
Okay.
So it looks like if you pop one and miss the other, it goes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
But anyways,
keep going.
Yeah, we will when we start letting this get known. We'll let the links know where we can have this, where you guys can be commenting. We
might be doing this in streams, so
yeah, we might start streaming, but we'd love to get your feedback. Anything you want to talk about, if you want us to talk about items, if you want to talk us about, just all the Pokeballs. I mean, we're open to talk about a lot. Right now, at the moment, what our plan is, we're probably going to pick another character soon. Hopefully next week, we plan on getting another one of these up, and then the only other thing I can say you can expect is Mario Kart 8 videos, which we are very excited to do.
And so feel free to follow me on Twitch. I have a Twitch account. It's JellyfishN. We'll be streaming a lot of Mario Kart 8, Smash. Definitely when Smash comes out, I'm basically going to be streaming 24 hours a day.
Oh, it's going to be so great.
At least until every character is unlocked.
We have like so much. I'm getting work off as soon as possible. I'll get like a week off.
So yeah, feel free to follow me on Twitch and we can get those. Watch us play. We'd be able to interact with you while we're doing that kind of stuff.
Oh,
it's
it
a
would
live
be fantastic.
chat. Awesome. So,
but yeah, so many options. Obviously, we hope you've enjoyed the first ever episode of "Don't Attack My Eye" or Dame, which and we're super happy to do this. This is Raid
and Jelly
and Sosie
signing out, and we will see you guys later.